Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. Right, so a while ago in one of my streams I kind of threw out the term question of the day, because if you are streaming daily, pretty much every single day or maybe every other day, there's always one main question that is on everybody's minds. On new arena days, it typically is what is going to be the cutoff, what you think is going to be the cutoff for that champion and stuff like that. Whenever something goes wrong in a game, everybody is always asking, what do you think is going to happen, so on and so forth. So it can be a wide variety of things, but the more often than not is one question that absolutely dominates every single stream. And today is no exception. Today is the question of what's gonna happen with Nexus Cav drop rates. The yesterday's offer, that was an amazing offer, pretty much as good of a value offer as we have ever seen, that I purchased myself. And I actually did purchase it without realizing that it didn't have the correct Cavalier Crystal drop rates. It had the old Cavalier Crystal drop rates. And obviously everybody wants to know what is going to happen. And well, first things first, keep in mind that yesterday was Sunday. And on Saturdays and Sundays, we pretty much never get any kind of conclusive updates, news, or decisions made. Because just like in any other big business, weekends, well, people don't work weekends. Or at the very least, the people that make decisions don't work weekends. The people that do, well, I kind of refer to them as the janitors of MCOC forums. It's basically the people that are there just bare minimum stuff to make sure that everything keeps running. They probably have one guy that's keeping an eye on servers, whether the servers are down or not, and they probably have a couple of forum moderators perhaps working from home just to make sure that, you know, the forums don't burn down. But nobody that actually plans the things, plans the events, designs the things, and can answer the difficult and significant questions is likely working on weekends, which is more than likely the same case right now, because this thing happened at the Sunday evening, Sunday midday for Canada and America, and right now it's basically either very, very early morning or middle of the night in that part of the world. That means that we can only realistically expect a proper answer later today, and that is the reason why we haven't heard exactly what's going to be done, if anything's going to be done, and things like that, because the people in charge of that were off yesterday and are asleep now. So I do expect a post announcement from Kabam later today addressing this issue. What I personally think is going to happen is that they are simply going to send a pack of 10 Cavalier Nexus crystals with correct drop rates to every single person who has purchased them. And ultimately that will end up being a good thing, because effectively you will get extra crystals for free. And that is what I kind of expect to happen, because it is, to me, quite clear that it was just an error, just an oversight, because these cow crystals were not available ever in game since the drop rates have been updated. So to me it seems that the person who just added them back in did not modify the drop rates, because they had no reason to do so before, because they're not available in the game. Kind of similarly what had happened to, let's say, daily cow crystals that you can buy in those $5 offers, where for a while their drop rates did not get updated, and when people realized it, they did update those drop rates. So in this case, since this is an offer that has been purchased by a ton of people, and it has caused a lot of commotion, I think it's more than likely that Kabam will just send out those 10 crystals to everybody. But again, keep in mind, I do not work for Kabam. That is what I think, what I'd expect to happen, what I'd like them to do if they do not want to kind of, like, I don't know, anger even more the player base at a very volatile point, where obviously we're still facing with a ton of game issues, parry, dexterity, and stuff like that. So it would be very not interesting, but bizarre to see Kabam trying to play hardball with the player base, saying like, nah, you bought what you bought and we're not going to do anything about it. Because it's quite obvious that it was an error. So again, in short, the reason why we haven't seen or heard an update thus far is because it was weekend, because now it's middle of the night. I do expect anybody who purchased that $50 Thronebreaker or Cavalier crystal card just basically get the same amount of crystals in mail for free that were with the old drop rates. And ultimately, I think that, yeah, people are just going to get extra stuff and everybody's going to be happy at the end of it. That is what I think. And that is my answer to this question. And I hope you guys found this useful. You guys found my opinion reasonable. But ultimately, again, one last time, keep in mind, I do not work for Kabam. I do not make those decisions. I just said what I think is going to happen. And I'm not trying to enforce my opinion upon what should happen. I'm not the one making the decision. I'm just predicting the future in this case, I suppose. But yeah, and I will keep making these type of videos about the questions of the day. The quick second question of the day that I actually had seen is about Mallman. And a lot of people saw the Mallman's updated release notes here. And that Mallman's true accuracy does not interact with some... Well, fix an issue where his true accuracy passive would not interact correctly with other champions. I'm about 98% sure that this will not change the way Mallman's true accuracy functions. The fact that he keeps his true accuracy entering Frenzy under 10 monster mass. In fact, I am relatively sure about it because yesterday in our stream we had a person from Kabam also looking at this issue, and he was also of similar opinion. He did not obviously speak in certain terms, but I think the reason for this line in the update, bug, patch notes, whatever it is, because he did not interact correctly with Penny Parker. And if I'm not mistaken, also then Overseer was able to occasionally auto-block Mallman, even his true accuracy passive was active. So I think that addresses the way he interacts with other champions, and it does absolutely nothing about how his true accuracy remains active or stays activated. In fact, to kind of further on the point, I think at this point it's quite clear that Kabam might not actually change Mallman's true accuracy functionality, but they would update Mallman's text rather than like did with Kamal Khan, where Kamal Khan effectively were nullifying buffs that she should not have nullified, but they just decided to keep it, and eventually a year or year and a half later they updated Kamal Khan's text to reflect how she actually works. So I think a fairly similar thing might happen to Mallman, hopefully. But again, that's just my kind of hopes. But at the very least, I do not think, I'm fairly certain, that Mallman will still function exactly the same way he functions in terms of his frenzy and true accuracy. Right. That is now definitely it for today's video. Hope you guys found it useful. And I'm going to catch you guys soon. See ya. Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about